Kids are getting raped in schools. They have nobody to talk to. And the forum shouldn't be one-man show, because if it becomes one-man show, that one-man show can abuse his power. A forum should be a system that is actually invested in our SGB, whereby if the councillor is not doing their job, I can run to the SGB.
To just go and ask for forgiveness, it shows that there's a problem from within internal.
I also feel for the girl who gave the last clip to Lufuno.
And it starts off as a joke.
Despite on whose child it is.
He allegedly assaulted Lufuno Mavhunga for Lufuno Mavhunga.
I am going through somebody who understands, somebody who can hear. Kids are getting raped in schools. Bullying another human being really should be one of the crimes that South Africa takes seriously, because we don't know what kind of families people come from. We don't know the kind of self-esteem that people have, or the tenaciousness in their focus in their own lives. Because when you get to a point where you get your happy from other people's pain, you have a problem. Unfortunately, elderly people were not raised in this moment of ours, whereby bullying has become a crime. It's a serious crime. People should be arrested for that. Immediately when somebody says, I'm being bullied, it needs to be taken seriously. It needs to be looked at, investigated, because I don't know, there's a spirit running around of young people just ready to do things to themselves. And if we do not protect them, if we do not hear them, if we do not hear their pain, if we do not sit with them and hear what they are going through, then we really are sending them to wrong places to do wrong things. Other people, when they got bullied, they might not do what Lufuno is doing, that we then end up paying attention, that, oh, shame. You understand what I'm saying? There are kids out there that are going through the same thing, but I don't know, they're not brave enough to do something to themselves. But as teachers, if I send my child to school, I'm expecting the teacher to look after my child like a parent. I mean, you spend literally, 6 hours with my children. I need to know that my child with you is safe. And as a parent, if a child comes home and saying, I'm being bullied, I need to take it into consideration. I need to stand up as a parent and go to school and see how to fix the problem. Not to go and blame someone, but to go and say, this is happening to my child. But I think the most important thing for me is that we need to have a system in schools. There should be a set system in schools for young kids to find a refuge to go to. We need to have, American schools have counselors, but South African schools don't have counselors. You know, you are on your own. Mind you, we might blame teachers and say they're not doing their job, but their job in schools literally is to teach students. But if I have a counselor, if we have social workers in school, people that are looking after our emotional well-being for our children, because if we're sitting here and we say that children don't get depressed, we are fooling ourselves. Why don't we have such systems set in place in South Africa, whereby young kids can run and say, this is what I am going through? Somebody who understands, somebody who can hear. Kids are getting raped in schools. They have nobody to talk to. And the forum shouldn't be one-man show, because if it becomes one-man show, that one-man show can abuse his power. A forum should be a system that is actually invested in our SGB, whereby if the councillor is not doing their job, I can run to the SGB. Why are students not connected to the body that is a parental body, where, you know, if, you know, when we were growing up, and I grew up long ago, we had a phone call. We had a place where we can call. It was a 011, it was a 015 number. You can call this number and tell them you are being abused. You can call them anonymously, ne? Bring them to come and rescue you. We don't have that system anymore. If we do, it's private. You know what I'm saying? So schools must put forums in place where young people can run to talk to, because unfortunately, because of the things that we see on social media, the things that we see on television, we are seeing a lot. So our emotional well-being is not settled. We grew up in a time where the only thing that we see is the people that we're looking at. These young people are living heavy because they see social media, they see other people living their life like this. They're like, oh my God, what about me? So depression set in, and then you coming as a bully, bullying them. At the end of the day, they do things to themselves. Young people are going through the most. And if we do not put a system in place, we will lose our children. We come from. We have a system that if you are holding an Android, you are not that intelligent. You need to hold an iPhone. That can play a role. If your hair is an afro like mine, it means that you come from a poor family. If you're dark like me, it means that, and if you have a nose like mine and you're not European-like, then you're not as beautiful. So those kind of social system, bullying is not me slapping you and beating you about the way Lufuno was done. Bullying is the words you would say to me that you're not so sure if you can receive them. If you say something to someone that you cannot take, then why are you saying it to someone? So social standing can do a lot depending on where you come from as a child. You can come from a family that can afford this and that. You are dropped in school by a Mercedes Benz, and this one is walking to school. She wakes up at 4 in the morning to walk to school. And then you, who is more privileged, you have more clout. You have, and I'm not saying that the people who are privileged are like that. Even the people from poor families can bully the people from rich families. So social standing, there's a reason why in South Africa we have to wear uniform to go to school. It's so that your status should not be proven in school. You are a school, you are equal to each and every child in school. That's why we wear uniform to go to school. That's why we have to all look the same. I grew up without that uniform. I went to school without that uniform. Nobody bullied me. You know what I'm saying? But you then get to realize that South Africa now, and thank God for this, in the villages, people are going to school for free. You know, people are going to school for free. I think that you can put other system in place just to cover and correct our even if it's not a system that is supposed to be in school all the time, but then you need to have an access for motivational speaking, for life empowerment. You know what I'm saying? Because there are people that comes from family where their mothers simply just tell them, you will not amount to anything. Already this child has a foundation that is not working for her. Underprivileged, poor, coming from lack. They get into school, they get in a system where the competition is high. If it's not drugs, it's bullying. Then at the end of the day, we want to discipline them on the foundation we do not set for them. They are young, we need to be responsible. Let's look at it this way. If I'm a friend with somebody, or if someone is bullying me, I'm a victim. I've watched a movie where this girl was being bullied, and when they bully, there's a group of 4 people. they take that big pen, and then they click it over and over again in her ear, over and over and over again, and they say, like, if you hear it, start laughing. Now, what they do to a psychological standing is that this child, even when she's in class, they will click the pen and then she'll start laughing. And then the teachers don't understand what is happening. I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, wow, you don't understand how impressionable psyche is. Ne? They put so much fear in her, they even reprogrammed her life. She grew up to become a great writer. Her bully wrote a book against bullying and then came to be interviewed and helped by her. She didn't even recognize her. She didn't even know that this person is the one I was bullying in school. When she found out, she decided to go back to her ways of doing things. She started clicking that pen. Now, how do we put them together? If I'm a victim of somebody, that fear will forever be in me. That violence will forever be in me. Where I'm sitting is that let's treat the victim and treat the bully separately. There's something that I call God complex. You know, when you press something and it moves, you have this thing in your room. Something is bigger in me. You reprogram somebody's psyche to fear you. You can't let go of that. It's called pride. It's called ego. Ego is dangerous. And when ego has taken over in your life, even if we say you are going to do counseling, while you are sitting there and people are being understanding and your victim is sitting there, you just looking at her, just, that's my sheep. She's looking at you as this is my predator. They can eat me anytime. Separate them. That's where I'm sitting. I don't want to be friends with my bully. I don't want to be friends with my rapist. There's no common ground anywhere. It's not even an issue of forgiveness. It's that your energy weakens my energy, or your energy suppresses my energy. Deal with the bully, because if you ask the bully where she comes from, she probably is bullied. It's unfortunate that the system of human being is that a person that has been bullied can also end up as a bully. Unfortunately. Like, the more you are abusing somebody, you are creating an abuser. Because this is a system of life. Psychologically, if I start bullying you, you're going to be a bully to somebody else. Unknowingly, because this is life. This is a psyche. And it's an emotional baggage that we need to start dealing with. If we do not deal with the emotions of our kids from a point of depression, from a point of the things that they see, then we are creating a nation of people that are just wanting to hurt somebody to achieve something. Hearing something about you that just makes you fall short to the expected and the accepted. It can do a lot to your self-esteem. I'm not a professional, but I got to a point where I really don't care what you have to say. But, so you said it, and I got to a point where words are just words. But unfortunately, words are what build us. You understand? We are a product of suggestion. People walk into our lives and be like, you know, you are like this and like this and like this, and you hold on to that and you start moving in that direction, even when you are not like that. But I got to a point where I had to build my own point of view of who I am. And then anything you say that doesn't agree with this persona that I have placed in place, I'm not taking. But then again, I'm strong-minded. But there are young people out there who are not as strong-minded as I am. I read books to run away from situations. As a young person, and a person tells you, you are not beautiful, look at them and try to find which standard am I supposed to be beautiful at? Who am I supposed to look like? Because most of the people that says to you, you are not beautiful, if you look at them, well. So let's find the standard first. When somebody says to you, you are not beautiful, I'm gonna tell you a weird thing that just happened to me yesterday. People keep telling me that I look like Karishma, the vocalist. I look like a lot of people. I really do. I look like a great deal of people. Everywhere I go, people are like, oh my God, are you Charisma Smaba? And whatnot. So I ended up watching one of the videos. So when I'm watching one of the videos, somebody says, oh my God, she looks like Susan from Muvhango. Ne? And then they also said, but she looks better. Ne? So someone says, what are you suggesting? It's like, no, but it's true. She looks better. So basically, which means I am the template of the lookalike. Charisma is younger. I'm the template. So therefore, I'm supposed to look like Charisma to be considered beautiful. Ne? So I looked at that and I couldn't stop laughing at myself. I was like, what the really? Oh my God, this thing will never end. You know what I'm saying? So someone decide that to make you happy, they must put me down. Ne? She's more beautiful. And I used to actually would look at this person who is telling me that I'm not beautiful. Lately, you come from a very dark place. You understand? And that is my conclusion. If a person tells you you don't fit the stereotype, realize that they come from a very dark place. There's darkness in them. The kind of things that they've met. In fact, feel sorry for them, Shem. Poor things, eh? If you open your eyes and all you see is ugliness, I wonder what trained you. Who trained you? Who made you this way? And normally these days, I would ask questions like, what's your childhood trauma? What really is getting through you? Like, you decide that me, who is not your sister, who's not your relative, I'm not related to you in any way. We're not twins. You decide that I'm not beautiful. By whose standard? Who am I supposed to look like to be considered beautiful? I'm perfect. So if you are out there and your bullying is people telling you how ugly you are, realize how dark they are. They're coming from a dark place. They need help. Don't be angry with them, Shem. They're going through the most. They're going through the most. Everything you see is darkness. And then when you see beautiful people, oh, she's so beautiful. But pay attention to that. Pay attention to statements. Because people that spew those kind of darkness, they come from a dark place. It's not easy. I think the only time you get to realize it is when somebody actually does say, people tell me all the time, you're such a bully, and I have a very pushy personality. Ne? People will say I'm strong. No, I'm not strong. I'm just at war with myself and everything around me. So when a person says to me, you are such a bully, ne? I look at myself all the time. So every time when I offend somebody, or every time I spend time with people, I go home and I think about the day. When you do not react well to a statement that I say, I'm responsible to that statement. So I think about that. I'm saying that as a person, introspect, look at yourself and ask yourself, did I do something to offend anybody? And call yourself to order. I've offended people that I went home and I didn't sleep well and I had to apologize. You understand? Then I will call and be like, I'm sorry for this and this and this and this. Because most of the victims that have been bullied, all they need is just, I'm sorry. And then their life is back in place. It's a simple, simple word. And it's not just, I am sorry and walking away. I'm sorry I made you feel like you are less of a person. I'm sorry I made you feel like you do not reach where I expect you to be. I'm sorry, I'm gonna also learn to accept you for who you are. People who are bullies, we don't know, eh? We really don't know. I've been told 3 to 4 times that you are such a bully. Do you know what I do? I withdraw and I search. What did I do? Why did I do that? Because people are sensitive. And being a victim of a bully, it's your prerogative. Bullies mostly don't know, but victims know. You know, we can run around saying, you are a bully, you are a bully, you are a bully, because you understand what I'm saying. We don't have a system in place whereby we as a person, or me as a person that keeps being told that I'm a bully, I'm not evaluating my life or introspecting where I'm going wrong. You understand? So at the end of the day, we are then dealing with overemphasis on my character, my personality, really. I call my personality corrosive. If I enter into a room, you have no choice but to obey my presence. Do you know what I'm saying? So the more I speak, the more people feel like, why is she like this? You understand? Then there are people that will just obey this kind of person that I am. I can't change who I am, but I can actually treat you differently if you let me know. Now, speaking to the people who are bullies, listen to the people that says you've been bullying them. Change yourself. For them, there are people who will enjoy your character. There are people who doesn't enjoy your character. I've been told, mostly with my colleagues, be like, hey, I can't handle you, you know? And then I'll be like, oh, God. You know what I'm saying? You can't handle means I need to pull away. I'm overly exaggerating myself on you. So I must check me, not the other way around. Develop talent making. I mean, how can you have people, bunch of people, hundreds of people in one place just doing as they please? I'm sorry, I don't do well in crowds, so that's why that is touchy. Make them develop something, make them do sports, focus their energy on something, because these people are looking for how to have fun, and sometimes fun is not fun to other kids. You understand what I'm saying? You grow up with young people, and then a person will be like, I want to learn music. Focus on that. Put them in that. You know, extramural activities, soccer. Make them do that. Make them do something that takes their energy from looking at each other and saying, okay, come to you, because it starts from nowhere. Like I remember when I was in school, in primary, this big human being came and be like, I'm going to come to you. And I've always been a small human being. Like I was quite little when I was growing up. But the problem is the shortness that I am. My brother was tall, ne? So I already had short man syndrome. This human being who was tall, that can just pick me with one hand and toss me away, is there. So listen, the fight is already began at home. Then you see me in the street and you see that I am little, and then you think, oh, because I look like a victim. And I'm looking at this person, because I do remember this story. I'm looking at this person in my head, I'm thinking, okay, you must ask around, you don't know me. I am a problem. I am your problem for the rest of your life. Begin something, why don't you? We come out of school, and my home was not very far. Like, my home was just next door to the school. So I'm walking home. After school is after school type of situation. I didn't do anything to her. So I come out, and then her friends are waiting. There's going to be a fight. This human being is probably 3 times my size. I was abnormally small. Ne? So you can imagine me going to school, being that little. People just felt, yes, something we can play around with. I'm resourceful. I'm little, but I had to be resourceful. I'm growing up with a tall person at home who is just, every time when I want to do something, he'll just pick me up and put me in the air. I can't reach him. I can't reach anything. My legs cannot reach the ground. So, you can imagine the anger is deep. And this human being decide, we are fighting. I know how to fight. I hang around with boys. In fact, for the longest time, I didn't know that I am not a boy. I'm a girl. So my friends are boys. You know how boys are. Let's fight. We start fighting anyhow. So this human being underestimated me. So she actually slapped me hard. And of course, my reaction is tears, and that is the problem. The more I get angry, the more problems are going to happen. And I used to be a sprinter. So she slaps me. When she slaps me, I just responded. Simple. I came at her flying, and I hit her, and she fell on the ground, and she was unconscious. And I waited. I knew she was unconscious. I waited. And when she comes to, I climbed on top of her and I slapped her over and over and over again. I tell her, it's not over. You want me to be at war with you? Fine, we're fighting. So now you can imagine when we find out that we're actually related. They come for the gathering at home and this human being is there. And so you can imagine my mother will always be complaining about the things, the shenanigans that I get up to. Ne? Then she decided, well, this is the day of entertainment. Let's tell about Mahumela's shenanigans. And she's like, yo, hey, we have a problem here. This little human being, because now I'm very obedient. I'm different in front of my mother. Everything she wants me to do, I do perfectly. Ne? So now the visitors will be there. Oh, your child is so innocent. That decided, let's share about this child. And he starts telling them. And this one is looking at me like, oh, you know, Niti, uyu. And this one then realized, oh, the only reason our fight stopped was because we were related. That is the only reason. I'm looking at her, I'm like, okay, at least we're cousin. It has ended. We'll start somewhere again, you know. Such is life. A victim never knows. You know, the minute you realize the energy is negative, disappear. I want to talk to the audience, the spectators. Why are you watching such things? So far as to take out your phone to take a video. Why are you not minding your sister? Because tomorrow it will be you. Just because she's being abused or bullied, it doesn't mean that it's going to end with her. Why are you desensitized that it is actually entertainment to watch somebody bully somebody else? I don't want to speak to victims and I don't want to speak to bullies. And why are they so, you know, so public with their shortcomings? As a person, be a person that has a system for yourself and the people around you. Know when somebody is going through something. Lufuno shouldn't have gone to report by herself. She should have a group of people to go with her. Maybe she would have been taken seriously. Make friends. There are people out there. Find them. Recognize this kind of people. If we want to stop bullying in school, then we should stop having spectators. And if this goes to court, please call the people that actually took a video. Those are the culprit. These other two, let's leave them out because they are the entertainment. You find this as entertainment. What is wrong with you? Why is this something to entertain yourself and putting it in social media for all to see? We are all going there to, oh my God, oh my God. We forget that behind the oh my God, there's somebody holding the camera to shoot these things and put them out there for people to see. Why is this entertainment to an African child? Who raised you? Those are my thoughts. As a matter of fact, where do you come from? Because if a fight starts now, somebody will shout and the teacher will come and separate us. It's not going to go far. And when you are here with your phone, recording such things, why?